This is starting. I think we're starting.
We're starting.
That's how it starts.
Push it with your dick, dude.
It worked!
I am Ray Taylor.
I clearly don't have a regular job.
I was never really into comic books growing up. Like, I was a geek.
Well, you should tell your face that, because you look exactly like
I do.
Watch the fights.
Fuck yeah, I watch the fights.
I'm Keith Spurlock.
I watch every kind of pornography. I said, all right, to counteract my cancer that I'm giving myself, I smoke weed after every cigarette.
What were we just fucking talking about?
And this is the Inspired Disorder Podcast.
I'm not going to allow you to have an opinion on this just because you're wrong.
Is anyone else's podcast about like jerking off in UFC?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
On again.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
This is alternative facts.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I do know. I know that the board says I won. The
Has
trophy
been-
says I won. Your hat says you lost.
I don't read the news, though. This is just... the Earth is flat. I'm not really wearing anything. So we're here to talk Fight Talk, obviously, to which I did pick poorly. Not horribly. I got a couple in the end. It did look a little embarrassing at the beginning. So we are talking about...
Well, at the beginning, it was looking bad for me.
Yeah, kind of.
It was 3-1 at one point.
Yeah, which is nothing. That's not really anything, though. Like, this is, like, pretty standard.
And then this whole thing right here.
Yeah, so we're talking about UFC Fight Night from Nashville, Tennessee. Bam. Headlined by not OSP and DeLima, but Cub Swanson versus Artem Lobov, who's an FS1 card.
Lobov, who we said when picking this, way in over his head.
For sure shouldn't have been fighting. Like, he needed a few more fights before fighting somebody like Cub.
Yeah,
It's
or
almost
before headlining a show.
that too. Yeah.
Especially when you don't bring Conor
but
McGregor with
headlining
you.
a show it's not confusing at all. Not at
No,
all
I'm not
confusing. It's the
confused
same
by
reason
it.
like Paige Van Zandt headlined a card. Like, she's
Well, who the
green as
knows
fuck.
Artem Lobov?
Everybody that's like the people that are all huge fans of Conor McGregor, you know, all the millions of fans that like break records because of Conor McGregor.
I've never heard of
Yeah,
these things.
that's why he gets residual, just like that other jiu-jitsu guy that got kicked out of his gym or whatever, Daniels something. It's just, you know, they hang out with really the most famous fighter.
Hey, and I guess you never know until you go up against that caliber of guy, but I said it before. I didn't think he should be in there with him, and at the end of it, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So let's start off with the Fight Pass prelim. Starting off with the first fight that ended kind of interestingly. So this one starts off. It's Hector Sandoval versus Matt Schnell. It's a quick first round.
Oh, it was like the end of the first round.
Or the end of the first round, but it was a pretty abrupt end to the fight.
It was just, well, first off, Sandoval's all of 5'2".
Yeah, tiny little angry munchkin dude.
He looks very angry and small.
Yeah.
And it was a decent back and forth. Schnell had so much reach on him. And then he got him down. And then
Yeah,
he hammer fisted him like
they were
this.
grappling on the ground for a little bit, and he got to like he was
But I'm
posturing up
I'm
so he didn't
saying
get caught. Yeah,
Like that far.
yeah. It was probably the weirdest hammer fist knockout. I mean, we've seen hammer fist knockouts.
Yes.
A ton.
Yes.
I mean, not necessarily from this
But
size
usually,
person. Yeah,
this
but
is a giant dude
Yeah.
giving like the gorilla hammer fist.
like if you were to shrink that giant dude down to like a tiny little munchkin,
and then hold him at his elbow so he couldn't actually elevate his arm.
I mean, he was hitting him at the right spot, and
Right here in the...
you never know if Schnell got knocked out a few times in training camp too, because that
Well, he
makes it
could have
easier.
been rocked before he even was on the ground.
Yeah, for
Like-
sure. Yeah, it went to the ground for a reason, but yeah, good win for Sandoval. Tons of power. Was never really in any trouble.
You picked Sandoval.
Yeah. So moving on to the second card of the Fight Pass prelims. Brian Barberina versus Joe Proctor. Pretty good fight. Not really, actually.
No.
I was thinking of a different fight coming out. Yeah, this was I had Proctor in this one, right?
I
chose
Barberina.
And Proctor comes in. Well, first off, first time at was
170.
170 from lightweight.
2 years.
Yeah, gone for 2 years, and then he starts getting tagged, and so he does the thing that a lot of guys do.
What?
Yeah,
Hit me.
that usually doesn't work.
What? He kept doing that, and then Barberina's like, we can do that. And he's like, what?
Yeah, as Proctor was backing up the whole time.
As he was doing this, Barberina just closed this one fist and brought it around, and I don't think Proctor saw it at all.
I mean, he was already getting pieced up.
Yeah, but
that's the reason why he was doing
down.
it.
It was the beginning of the end right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had the worst game plan. Let's put your hands, let's taunt a guy and have no defense. Like, not be capable of moving away from a punch. Like, let's just give him free shots.
How many times can you punch me in the face, huh?
Yeah, it was an embarrassment for Joe Proctor, I would say. Very embarrassing showing. But a good win for Barberina. It made it a lot easier for him, that's for sure.
Yeah. And Barberina's...
He's good.
He's scrappy as fuck.
For sure. He's fun to...
With his no-pack having dad bod.
Yeah. But it's still... have we seen him against anybody really difficult yet?
Actually, yes. He's fought 3 guys who were like coming in undefeated and put a stop to him.
Colby Covington.
Yeah.
Chad
Warley
Laprise.
Alves. Chad
Well,
Laprise.
he's lost to those.
Sage was...
Sage is green as shit. Sage is a fucking Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah, no, but Warley Alves and I think Joe Ellenberger, Jake's little brother, he fucked him up.
Yeah, but it's like he hasn't fought anybody big. He hasn't fought anybody big. Like
no, not big.
Warley maybe
Warley
as
was
far
undefeated, and that fight was in Brazil, and he fucking put it on him.
Yeah, so that's a good win for him. But he's coming up good. It's a fucking fight past prelim, so it's not like they're giving him...
He's a hit-miss guy, but he definitely got his name out there when he beat Sage.
Yeah. Just like fucking... Mickey with fake wrestler. Right, so moving on to the feature bout.
So we're 1-1 now.
Barberina won that one, yeah. And it was by KO.
Yeah, he knocked his ass out.
So moving on to Alexis Davis versus Cindy Dandois, and
this fight was fucking terrible.
When I was picking this one, I was regretful that I didn't pick Dandois just because her record was good. She did have experience, but in the end, Davis won it. But Dandois is just like. Aside from her being able to get those takedowns,
I loved your description. She's every fucking drunk middle-aged guy fighting on World Star Hip Hop. Like her stand-up,
just like her footwork is like a drunk man.
I've never trained stand-up before in my life, and I could fake.
Yeah, it was
fake
horrible.
Convincing people that I'm more of a fucking stand-up fighter than she was. Yeah. And when they announced her as a striker, even though she's more of a judo person.
Stan was all about her judo.
Oh, yeah.
Stan was like the biggest fan of Cindy Dandois. She could do no wrong. Amazing judo.
Here's the fucked up thing. She really almost beat Alexis Davis.
She's good. I mean, she has no stand-up.
None.
But she's able to
take someone down and do
even
nothing.
Like her takedowns. Like the very first takedown she did was like a drunk man trying to take like a drunk middle-aged man.
She stumbled into her
trying
and then
to take
like
somebody
they both
down.
fell down. I was like, "What? This is."
It was just
and what Davis should have been able to just beat the piss out of her. And I think
she
it
was able to survive a lot of the fight because she took the fight down. She was able to get her down.
But I'm saying like,
but not do anything.
Davis,
she was in her guard.
Didn't
the whole
know how
time.
to react to drunk uncle.
Yeah, but when
she was like, "What fighting style?"
Her biggest thing, if Davis didn't, if what's her face, if Dandois didn't get those 5 takedowns, because that was the only thing she did in the fight. She got the takedowns, but then she just stayed in her guard, stayed in Davis's guard, and did nothing. Landed nothing. Didn't pass. Didn't threaten with anything. Just kind of in her guard. moving enough to where it doesn't get stand up. The most boring fighter. Aside from the Diaz guy, I never remember his name, but he's pretty worthless to remember. The former Lobov opponent.
I don't even want to say his name.
But
Chris Avila.
Avila, yeah. He's pretty boring to watch too.
The only
he's like
exciting
doing an
part about this
impersonation
fight,
of a Diaz fighter.
and I'll be sexist as fuck, was that chick's huge tits about popped out at least 3 times, and that was the most exciting part of that fight.
Sure. I don't like. There's the internet that has porn on it, so I don't need to see a really unqualified fighter. I mean, ground. Clearly, that's where she's been winning her shit. We're not looking at her stats right now, but like, she's not knocking people out. She's not fucking boxing anybody. She's not kickboxing anybody. You put her in there with anybody. Like, put her in there with anybody in that division. It's not even a stacked division, but like, put anybody in the top 5. She's getting destroyed. Like that. I was saying if Holm loses to Betch Correa, that should be her final fight. Give her Dandois, and like, I mean, if she loses to Betch, it's almost should be go back to Invicta or something, but
or just stop. Not like she's young.
Yeah, but she could do. I mean, she could probably beat people in Invicta, but she's just like as mediocre as hell, unless she's fighting Ronda. Anyway, Davis won it by decision.
You picked Davis.
Yeah. Very scared that because of all the takedowns and because of especially Stan, like,
I
the biggest fan.
I definitely usually bowled out to go smoke a cigarette in between fights.
Yeah, but it's like,
But I had
potentially
to
the judges could fuck this up.
I had to stay until the judges finally told the score, and it was still. She only won it by 1 point from each judge. I'm almost positive. It's like 29-28 every round.
Yep, 29-28.
Yeah.
So she won. Yeah, it was the round that she fucking just, 5 of those 6 minutes where she just was on top and controlled is the only reason she won a round. Super
Terrible
boring. Not it for sure. Not looking forward to seeing her fight again. Moving on to
you picked Davis,
right?
So we've been
on our picks so far. So moving on to the first of the FS2 prelims, Daniel Taylor versus Jessica Penne. They kept calling her Danielle, so I don't know if they were just pronouncing it wrong. I don't really give a shit. She was
Dynamite.
the previous most boring fighter before Dandois stepped into the cage. Although actually looked good.
Yeah.
Landed some punches even though she was super tiny compared to Penne.
This fight.
Did you choose this one? Or
Yeah,
is this,
I did.
Yeah.
And this is our first wrong pick. I picked Penne.
Yeah. I was not
Even
happy.
at the end, we were both like.
I mean, it was close.
It was. We knew it was close. I was like, I'm
definitely
not
close.
objecting, but I definitely. I think we both thought Penne won it, but very closely.
I don't remember. You were probably rooting for Penne because it was your pick. I was probably happy with Taylor just because give me a win. And she didn't look bad. She actually attacked and she like fought as opposed to her previous fights where she didn't.
Yeah.
And she just kind of circled and never engaged. But yeah, it was definitely a close fight. Not a great fight.
No,
But it was better than the Dandois fight for sure. So moving on to the next FS2 prelim, Scott Holtzman versus Michael McBride. This was the one that I was thinking of earlier, where McBride came out, kind of had like definitely a weird style.
Yeah.
But hung in there and fucking ate everything Holtzman
And by
threw at him.
everything, it was a lot of fucking real hard shots, kicks.
Yeah.
The fucking guy just wouldn't stop.
Yep.
Holtzman put it all out there. Like,
Yep.
he fucking tried to win that shit.
I kept thinking Holtzman was going to get gassed, but
He never did.
Great
plus
cardio.
he's like a hometown guy.
That doesn't mean shit. That even more so they get gassed because of fucking. He was looking so good the first round, almost has him out, and can't put him out. And then it's like they grapple at the very end. I think didn't McBride get a takedown late in the first round or something like that?
Yeah, and then put him in danger at the. It was like happened twice.
So
in the fight,
it's
McBride's
there was
really good on the ground.
definitely potential for anybody to get gassed in a situation like that. Hometown, because there's always extra pressure on people. A lot of times people lose hometown.
Well,
because
he's
of the pressure.
undefeated in his hometown.
Yeah,
and then but they all ended in knockout, and he just couldn't get the knockout on this one.
Yeah, I mean McBride was a fucking
McBride,
zombie,
a much longer fighter
too, and super weird. Like everything he threw was long, so it took an extra half second to reach him. So it was all like looked like he was just. It was just super weird style, almost kind of like a not as exaggerated Keith Jardine. Jardine had a weird style too.
Yeah,
or like Jardine and
style.
Yeah, Jardine mixed with Diaz because Diaz likes comes with the way out slap, but like looser. Fun fight though. Yeah, really fun. This was probably the no, this wasn't the. I mean, fight of the night so far, I guess.
Fight of the night so far.
Yeah. It's definitely two more.
Even though it didn't, a couple of them ended real quick.
Yeah,
those were awesome.
Those never get.
But you would pick McBride. I had Holtzman, so now you're up to 3-2.
So moving on to Brandon Moreno versus Dustin Ortiz.
This was another fun one for me.
Yeah,
Ortiz went out there and tried to just wrestle fuck him.
Kept trying to get him down for like. I mean, a lot of it was like on the cage trying to get the takedown, getting it, and Moreno just getting right back up. Yep. Moreno's talented.
So
as
impressed
fuck, man.
with this kid.
23 or something like that. Yeah. Came off the last show, tough show, I think, or the one right before it.
All I know is he's good, and Dustin Ortiz is no joke. Like he's
a tank.
He's been in the top 10 forever.
He has that style where it's like a lot of it ends up being on the cage trying to work for a takedown and then either getting it and then slowly working. I can't remember like what he does when he's on the ground, but it's a style that's not going to be getting him like tons of fans. Versus Moreno has that kind of he has like a similar kind of flashy style
not
that
quite
a lot of
Yair, but
not quite, but he's also young. He has a different he's just like super tough and loose for how new he is to the
very
sport.
comfortable in the ring.
Yeah,
especially
it's
against
rear naked choke.
Yeah, especially against top level guys like
for
this.
Sure. Yeah. Super exciting to watch. See what happens with Moreno. What division is that one? It's flyweight.
125.
Yeah. All right.
So I picked Moreno in that fight.
Yeah, that's one that I was rooting for. Moreno.
So now it's all tied up.
So moving on to the feature bout of the FS2 prelims, Talis Leites versus Smilin' Sam Alvey. I chose Smilin' Sam Alvey.
You did.
And he got hurt early.
The first kick of the fight.
Yeah, and it was kind of just...
buckled his knee.
Kind of surviving from then on. Didn't look horrible considering... No. The last round, I don't think... It was just like nothing was really happening. I could be thinking of a different fight again. But, tons of leg kicks from Leites, but he just wasn't able to finish it.
Kicking the shit out of him. Just literally not like beat, but just kicking him a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot.
Yeah.
Sam had giant welts on his legs.
But, still survived. Leites wasn't able to put him away.
No.
But Sam is a tough guy. And he was, he's injured and for sure getting gassed.
You could see him grimacing on different steps on his leg. It's not good. Mm-hmm. But it was all right fight. Nothing too exciting.
It was one that
no one
even
rocked.
towards the end where I'm like, there's a chance. Sam could just hit him once and put him down. Not a lot of ground. It's pretty much a stand-up fight. Which good on Smilin' Sam to keep it standing.
So that puts me up 4-3.
So moving on to the FS1 main card. Starting off with Jake Ellenberger versus Mike Perry, Platinum Perry.
And this was the day that Jake Ellenberger died.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was it was pretty the first round, I mean, it was a second round knockout. First round was, I mean, it was pretty competitive.
Yeah, it was competitive. Perry's nose got broke.
Yeah.
So he was bleeding a lot.
Yeah.
But he, from like, I don't know, it's kind of like the clinch break elbow, like where your bodies are together.
They were in close, and he threw
like
a nice elbow.
Oh my God.
Just flatlined him.
Yeah, Ellenberger just stiff as a board fell back and then didn't get up for about 5 minutes. He was still on the ground when they rose his hand.
Yeah.
And then we saw him on the stool finally, but who knows? Like,
yeah. Yeah, it was a good win for Perry. He's up and comer. Lost to Joe Ban, who was another up and rising guy until he fought freaking Gunner Nelson. So interesting to see where Perry goes next. What division is that?
170.
Welterweight. Well,
it's a log jam.
Yeah.
Of
So
fucking
still
murderers.
good fighters,
Yeah.
but good luck. I mean, he's not anywhere near the title anyway, so.
He shouldn't be for a couple years.
Yeah,
but he's
getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to the next fight of the FS1 main card, Joe Lozon versus Stevie Ray. Did they get? It doesn't have.
Yeah, I don't know who got the bonuses.
Say over here. No, it doesn't say over there. Fuck. I think this fight got a bonus, but I'm not sure if it was just performance. Well, I guess it would have been. This was the fight that we thought was gonna be fight of the night.
Yeah.
Until we didn't think it was going to be fight of the night.
It was a good fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it was a definite back and forth. Stevie Ray was getting hit hard in that first round. He was getting hurt in that first round. And then changed up. He went into the corners. Corners like, fucking just box. Comes out, and it helps because he's not getting taken down with his with throwing the kicks. He's able to keep his distance, and he starts piecing up. Lozon starts hurting him and gets him tired. For the last round, he's exhausted, but still wasn't able to finish Stevie Ray.
And it was a majority decision because one of the judges had it a draw.
It was all in that second round. That second round was the key. First round clearly Lozon, last round clearly Ray, and the second round was the deciding factor. And I mean, you could easily score that, and one guy did a draw.
Yeah,
the second round, which, that's about as close of a fight. That's why we thought it was fight of the night as so far.
Yeah.
Because fucking who knows. It was a great fight. I mean, Lozon can't go wrong. Dude gets bonuses
fucking legend
all day.
But you picked Lozon as I would have. And so now it's 6-3.
Now moving on to the next fight, John Dodson. I just merged his first and last name. John Dodson versus Eddie Wineland. Another fight that went to decision, but another fight, well, not as entertaining, but impressive to see Dodson not get hit.
Yeah.
Out of
to see Eddie Wineland 21 strike, 3-round fight
out of 138 thrown. So that's a 15%. Only 15% of times he threw hands, he hit anything. Versus almost half of DJ's. Not DJ.
JD.
Yeah. Man. Yeah.
Which he doesn't even go by.
No. That's
why. You mean JD, right?
Even when I said it didn't sound. I was like, this is all wrong. What am I doing here? But good win for Dodson.
Yeah.
I mean, Wineland's a guy you want to avoid because if he hits you once, that could be the end of your night.
But Wineland just boxed the entire time.
There's no
wrestling
kicks,
at all. No wrestling, just hands.
Yeah, and that's kind of what he does.
But when but the game is moving past that. So when you're so one-dimensional, and then you got a guy as fast as Dodson, it's a bad combination.
Yeah, but I don't think Wineland's like. I never really thought of Wineland. He's kind of on the latter stages of his career, right?
Oh yeah, he's
right. 'Cause he's been around
on the back 40.
Where are we at here? What weight class?
He would be at featherweight.
Featherweight.
Or no, 135. Sorry, bantamweight.
Is he? There we go. So it's
He was ranked 10.
Dodson, Caraway. I mean, Caraway doesn't fight hardly ever. He fought like once last year.
He's hurt again or something.
Lineker, but he's new. Rafael Sunsao. I mean, yeah, I guess there's a lot of that divisions.
There's a lot of fucking killers.
Yeah. Yeah. Sterling. Yeah. But yeah, good win for John Dodson. See where he goes from here.
And with that, as I had picked Dodson, I just won.
Yeah.
So last 3 fights.
It's just me trying to save some face.
Which you did
and not
a little.
just have 3 correct picks. So moving on to the next fight. OSP, Oven St. Preux
versus MRDL.
MRDL, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, who was off by 4 pounds, was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Lost 30% of his purse because this being his 2nd time in a row missing weight.
30% is a lot.
Fucking
Right
be
off
a
the
professional.
rip. I agree.
Be a
but
professional
I agree
like
100%,
the
but I'm
champion of the division and use a towel and cheat.
saying, yeah, at least.
Just be a cheater
At least
like the
use a
champion.
towel. Try to cheat.
Yeah. So anyway, it was pretty. I mean, it was a good fight. It was definitely. It's one of those fights where, you know, De Lima's one of those guys puts his hands on you. It's you need to be wary
He's a
of
powerful
that.
dude. He has no neck.
Yeah.
That I can see.
Yeah.
All traps. Just a big, thick dude. And then OSP just out of nowhere pulls out the Von Flue choke, which he's done once before.
Well, it went to the ground. I mean, he wanted to not stand up with him.
Yeah,
and
it made it to the 2nd round.
Yeah. And De Lima tried to get him in like a guillotine, and you know he went. OSP went to side control, and from there, like Rogan says all the time, but you never see it. Like people need to let go of that. They need to be careful because there's the Von Flue choke, but you never see it.
Yeah, no.
But except for OSP, it's the 2nd time doing it to motherfuckers.
He's got more Von Flue chokes than Jason Von Flue, the guy that invented the choke.
Yeah. That's
or at
why
least
they
in
call
MMA.
it, well, that's I guess. So good win for OSP. De Lima
He needed
fucking
this
learned
win,
how to.
too.
Yeah, it's
After, I
Yeah.
think he dropped his last 3 or 2.
OSP. I mean, he fought. He lost to Jones and he lost to.
Manawa?
Let's see here. Yeah, I guess he did have 3. Jones, Manawa, and then Ozdemir, Volkan Ozdemir.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that one.
On a split decision? Yeah,
It's probably like boring, I would imagine.
Yeah, he needed that win.
For sure.
3
yeah.
losses in a row.
No shit. After, I mean, even fighting for the title, he's like
he's got a
pretty.
salty
That's
record.
how. But he's in the division where they're not going to get rid of him. He's a name. He's pretty fun to watch, and the division's light as fuck. So
yeah,
I don't think he should be too worried. But for sure that helps. De Lima, on the other hand, we'll see if they make him fight heavyweight once, like they do to like Gaslam and all those other fighters that couldn't
or
make
they
weight.
just fucking release him
Or cut him. But again, you know, heavyweight's not a stacked division. They could use.
They need big
He's not a
guys.
horrible fighter.
No.
He's fun to watch.
No,
It'd just be nice if he. I mean, his gas wasn't that great. I think he was getting a little gas towards the 2nd round anyway. But yeah, good win for OSP.
So you had OSP in that one, so you got another win.
Yay! It wasn't completely horrible. Moving on to the next fight, the co-main event. Al Iaquinta coming back, 2 years off, selling houses, versus Diego Sanchez, the Lionheart. And it just looked. I mean, it was pretty dominant performance by Al.
Yeah, he threw 12 strikes. He landed 12 of 19 and knocked him down twice and just ended it. Turned his lights out.
Yeah,
Diego
I mean,
was
from the first hit, like Diego was just trying to survive.
Yeah.
From minute one.
Diego should retire.
Yeah. I think that's the second KO. Didn't he? He just got KO'd by Lozon or something.
Lozon at 200. Then I think he got.
Yeah, lost to Lozon. He beat Marcin Held, then lost to Iaquinta. He beat Jim Miller on 200. Oh no, that was 196. So he's like off and on.
Well, very off and
but,
on.
I mean,
look at loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win.
He's one of those
win.
guys that's been around since literally the first Tough. He's the very first person to win the Ultimate Fighter. So a lot of those guys tend to stick around, although that was... But Iaquinta's no joke either. It's not like he fought... It's not like he fought like some Nova or some guy that's... I think he's got one more fight.
2 years.
Sure.
But, yeah, he's young and powerful, though.
Yeah. Although he's super pissed that he didn't get a bonus and was going off on the UFC, and he's like... threatened to trash his room, which I don't know if he did, but he put out like a few tweets.
There was
where he's all pissed off about it.
I watched the Tommy Toehold, or not, yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. His little videos, and like Al was doing the post-mortem in place of Dana, and he kept threatening to wreck his hotel room if he didn't get a fucking bonus, and he's like, it's bullshit.
That's what he said on Twitter.
Yeah, like I didn't know that that's where he was pulling it from, but it was funny as fuck.
Yeah. And that was like the reason he was out for 2 years. I mean, he had an injury, I guess. I think he had a knee injury.
Yeah.
But the main thing was that, like, they had some weird, like, he couldn't win a bonus for like 3 fights.
Yeah.
Like, they had some weird fucking stupid shit that happened before the sale. And then he's kind of out in this, like, no man's land. But they bring him back, and then he thinks he should get a bonus. I think he should have got a bonus. But
that knockout was not as devastating as Perry knocking out.
No, not at all. No, or like OSP's Von Flue choke, which I don't know if he got a bonus or not. But
I picked Iaquinta in that because I don't really like Diego that much.
I love Diego. As far as him winning or not, I enjoy him he's a fun fighter that's been around forever, and I always enjoy watching him fight.
I've got mad respect for Diego.
Yeah.
I just don't like something about him has always been like I just never liked Diego. Like that happens with fighters. Like he just always was like ugh and the whole Diego Sanchez, the vampire hunter, and all that.
Just a fucking
weird
crazy
antics.
person.
Yeah,
he's a crazy person.
Just not my type of crazy, I guess.
Yeah. So moving on to the main event, Cub Swanson versus Artem Lobov. It went all 5 rounds. Ended up becoming the fight of the night.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't that surprised. I mean, aside from maybe Lobov landing something, but the fact that it was mainly him eating shit and taking it, it just showed off Lobov's chin, the reason it went 5 rounds. Because
Cub landed
pieced
251 strikes, 209 of which were
73%.
Significant. Yeah, landing at an outrageous clip.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great fight for Cub.
And
showed off Lobov's chin.
I trained with Conor McGregor. There's nothing you could do to me that I don't see. Like, yeah, evidently he might not be as fast as Cub Swanson, or
maybe
he's taking
training
it easy on
isn't
you
the same
in training.
thing as fighting. It's whatever. He's trying to sell the fight. He's nothing to sell the fight on. He can't sell it on past victories. He can only sell it on the fact that he trains with Conor McGregor.
True.
That's the only reason he's main eventing. But he gained respect because he took it. He did give it back, but
he landed a couple shots.
One shot for every 3 or 4 that Cub landed.
It was almost,
but it was a great battle.
Every 2.
It was a good battle. Yeah. Not as good as the Doo-Ho Choi fight. That one being way crazier of a battle.
Yeah.
But yeah, good on Lobov. Survived. Hung in there 5 rounds. And Swanson done wins it. We're not making picks.
Awesome.
Because the next fight's not till like 2 weeks from now. But we are going to play some UMC. But before we get to that, So anyway, that was the UFC Fight Night this past Saturday, April 22nd, from Nashville, Tennessee. Fun card. Probably one of the more fun. I don't know if we've had a better card yet this year. There seems like it's getting a little bit better. Last one was good. This one's better, I think. There's just a lot of finishes, a lot of great finishes, and the fights that went to decisions were really good.
I liked the Barberina knockout, the Perry knockout, obviously, the Iaquinta knockout.
Sure, a lot of knockouts and submissions, but also great fights that went to
McBride
decisions.
Fight, Moreno finishing. Yeah, it was a good card.
There was only a couple stinkers early.
Probably not. I'd have to go through and look at them again, but I'm not saying my favorite of the year yet.
Well, I mean, so far there's been real stinkers so far this year. Like, it really hasn't been anything good. Like, the last one was fucking the light heavyweight champion, or the one before that was the light heavyweight champion, which is dog shit. Ended horrible. The weird controversy in the co-main, and then the main event was like, what the fuck? And the last one, it's DJ doing what DJ does, but then all the other fights were forgettable, pretty much. So as it were, I would say this one so far, but next fight card's probably going to be really good. It's pay-per-view. I think it's the heavyweight rematch. Heavyweight title, Stipe.
It's May 13th.
Yeah. See, I have it up here, so we can just. So assuming we're not going to pick them just because their fighters might fall out, but we can go over it real quick. It's UFC 211, Saturday, May 13th.
Absolutely the next card?
Yeah.
That's a decent gap.
Yeah,
that's
but
3 weeks.
Not really. I mean, when we make picks, we'll make picks a week out.
But I'm saying, yeah.
It's like the last big break we just had was like 3 weeks. Stipe Miocic versus Junior Dos Santos is the main event it's a rematch between them. And
just see some notable ones on there.
Joanna versus Andrade. You got Maya versus Masvidal.
I'm looking at
Edgar versus Yair Rodriguez.
I'm looking at Alvarez versus Poirier.
Cejudo
Skelly
Pettis
versus Knight.
Yep.
I'm looking at the mid card more. We can see James Vick again against Polo Reyes.
You see Eddie Alvarez come back after getting pieced
that Branch guy was
Poirier.
He was like he'd been in the UFC before and then left and was like World Series of Fighting, but held like their 85 and 205 belt or something like that. Then they released him, so he's coming back from that. But then who's Pettis fighting? Scroll up a little.
Cejudo.
Oh shit!
So Little Pettis versus Cejudo.
First, these 5 fights phenomenal.
Dude, the main card is ridiculous.
These 4 fights phenomenal.
Potentially.
Like I know most of those guys.
It'd be interesting. It's
Barzola's
interesting to
fighting
see
again.
Interesting to see how Eddie Alvarez looks coming back.
Sherman, I believe, he's a heavyweight. The Vanilla Gorilla,
right? Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like
could be
Knight versus Skelly.
Yeah, that's gonna be. It's good matchups. So we'll get into that more in a week or two. So look out for that.
Look out.
Before we move on, go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/inspired disorder. Donate $1 or more. There's perks and all kinds of different stuff that you can get from donating. It's a monthly donation. So if you donate $1, it's only $12 a year. But for sure, donate more and get more perks. And with all that said, let's move on to the Ultimate Movie Championship, brought to you by patreon.com/inspired disorder. This is where we go to.
You can probably take your
FlickChart.
retarded hat off now.
Oh yeah, thank you. Oh, I should have brought I didn't even notice it. That's how
Comfortable you're getting with
acclimated to losing I am. It's been going back and forth, so
it has like, especially recently, every time it's back and forth.
Yeah. So this is where we go to FlickChart.com and we play a movie fighting game where 2 movies enter. Only one can win. If we can't make a decision, we go to the judges, Rotten Tomatoes, fan score, higher fan score, critic score wins.
And to be clear, the movies
don't
fight. We fight on behalf of movies.
Yeah,
sometimes
we choose.
Sometimes we disagree.
It's basically we're trying to build our ultimate movie list, And sometimes the most epic battles happen with the most worthless of movies.
Because sometimes you're just not going to budge on bullshit like Signs or fucking Rush Hour 2.
Yeah. Let's just do a regular one. We don't have to do action. And if we haven't seen one of the movies, then it goes to our list of shame.
And some of them I'm not that shameful about.
Nah. It's just more like I've never even heard of that movie. So starting off with Signs versus Rush Hour 2.
Signs. And I hate that movie.
Well, you don't hate it.
All right, I dislike it strongly.
Because Rush Hour 2's a fun action movie.
But I really don't like
Chris
either
Tucker.
Rush Hours. Like, are there three?
I don't think you're just
I
a
don't know.
big Jackie Chan fan. Because you didn't like either of those. I don't think you've watched either of the Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Nights. Yeah, you're just not a Jackie Chan fan.
No Chan fan?
Yeah. Which I am a huge Jackie Chan fan.
I watched that bullshit fucking New Karate Kid.
His newer stuff is dog shit, but
I watched Rumble in the Bronx right when it came out. At least
that was all right. I mean, the Australian ones were a lot of fun, but the Rush Hour first two and then the Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Nights
I've watched the Rush
are
Hours,
great.
and like I probably chuckled at them, but I never was. I fucking dig these movies.
Okay. Versus Signs versus Saga Signs. On that one.
Signs wins just on sci-fi.
Fast and the Furious 6, which I don't know if I've seen. I probably have, but I can't remember. They do kind of blend together.
Let me guess, there were cars and they stole something, and then the fucking
Fun action
ridiculous
movies.
chases.
Fun action movies, yeah. Better than any of the DC comic book movies that are coming out, that's for sure. So The Crow, have you seen Panic Room?
Yeah.
Versus Panic Room.
The Crow.
Panic Room.
The Crow.
I'm not.
100%.
I was never into goth. Never gave a shit about The Crow. I know it's a comic book,
Not
right?
about
I don't give a fuck. It's
goth.
1000% like. This is like one of those.
Now,
like,
they may have
people that-
adopted it,
people that,
but
like,
it wasn't-
kids that did drugs watched Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Kids that were into goth watched The Crow, watched Nightmare Before Christmas, watched all the fucking goth movies. This is goth. Any white person wearing white makeup and like greasy hair and a jacket, even though I know he's mixed, that's goth, bro. That's goth.
I agree. It fits the description, but
you just don't want to admit that you're into goth shit.
I was never a goth kid.
Sure. But you were closeted. You had
Maybe.
you had your trench coat
Whatever.
in the
if
closet.
I never had the trench coat.
But I mean, it's the movie that killed Brandon Lee, and
and it
that's
was a fucking awesome movie.
No, it's really not. It's really not. I don't know. I don't give a shit about The Crow. Everybody used to like. I don't know. It was this thing. I don't know why people like it.
I've watched that movie 100 times.
I've watched it.
I saw Panic
twice.
Room in the theater.
Yeah, me too. I own Panic Room.
And I wasn't. I mean, it's all right.
It's a basic movie. It's not a great movie, but for me,
Forrest
it
Whitaker,
doesn't take much
Jared
to beat
Leto,
The Crow.
Yeah, isn't her daughter Dakota Fanning in that one?
I don't remember.
But Jodie Foster's the main. Yeah, I'm gonna go The Crow.
It's a fun
for sure.
movie. All right, well, we're going to the judges on this because no way you're going to convince me The Crow
is better than Panic Room.
The Crow is going to lose. For me, The Crow loses to many movies. Many movies. I just don't give a shit about
Caps
The Crow.
lock.
I was angry typing.
82%.
82%
That
for The
shocks
Crow.
the fuck out of me.
I don't even remember what I was fucking
Panic
searching.
Room.
Panic Room. 82?
Panic Room.
Panic Room's probably going to be like 60 something. Oops. Panic Room 83. 76.
The Crow it
How the
is.
fuck did The Crow?
Probably because it was reviewed later.
It's like all applaud this movie that killed the son of an icon.
Who was also killed. They're all murdered.
Yeah, but he was killed filming that movie.
Two movies a lot of people hate.
I 100% for me. I hate Little Nicky.
It's a terrible fucking movie.
Hated that movie.
I like Constantine, so I'm
and-
gonna go Constantine. Like I
It just makes me feel bad that I have to choose one of these two.
yeah.
I don't want either of. I mean, I guess I'll go Constantine just because fuck it. But
Little Nicky was fucking
they're
terrible.
both. I don't give a fuck about either of those movies. We're hitting the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
for me
it's
today.
just really Butterfly Effect. Let's throw some more shit shows.
That's one with what's his face.
Yeah,
I've not seen Salo.
no,
I've never even heard of that movie. Ooh, one of tied for favorite Tim Burton movie, Big Fish, versus
tied with Beetlejuice.
versus just depending on mood. I think Big Fish is a way better movie, top to bottom. But
Oh, I'm sure, but I just rewatched Beetlejuice
Yeah.
like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and I loved every minute of it again.
yeah, well, it's also sentimental for you. You watched it a lot growing up. Versus Butterfly Effect, the Ashton Kutcher effect.
I liked the premise of the Butterfly Effect.
Sure.
I just don't think it was.
It was a
fucking,
shitty
It was
movie.
not good.
It was a
and then it
dog
got
shit movie.
real fucking like
It's just stupid.
molesty and like
It's basically
uber
any kind of
introverted, then he,
like
like-
time machine movie where it's like, oh, we fucked something up, so we're constantly going back to fix
except
it.
there's no time machine. He can just if he reads something, he
It's
can
stupid.
travel in time.
Yeah, it's stupid. Big Fish.
Yeah, 100%.
Big Fish.
Doctor Strange just came out this year versus the X-Files movie.
This one's fucking easy.
Yeah,
bro.
Doctor Strange.
100%.
Even without the 3D, better than the X-Files movie.
The Doctor Strange poster is better than the X-Files movie. I would rather stare at that poster for an hour and a half than watch the X-Files movie. Sleeping Beauty, the 1959 animated classic, Disney classic, versus Fanboys, a movie that like had some
Independent.
crazy it was released like super late.
Years.
Like when it
Years
finally came
after
out,
they
all
made
the
it,
actors
yeah.
that were in it are like children, but they're like grown men now.
Yeah.
It's so weird. What was the premise? They wanted to steal the
first cut of
the first
Phantom Menace, the first prequel.
Ugh.
Because their friend was dying.
Yeah.
And
I'm going Fanboys.
100%.
Yeah.
I liked Fanboys.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun.
You attached to certain Disney movies, so I never know.
Sleeping Beauty's
that
not really.
would be one of them that you could have. I grew up with sisters, bro. I'm into fucking.
They were more into
Beauty and the Beast.
the newer ones that
Yeah.
came out, not like.
That's why I
the
was just. I don't
nostalgic
know.
ones.
I don't know. It just seemed like one that you'd
Now Snow White.
surprise me on.
I've seen that shit in the theaters like 8 times.
I mean, I get it could beat some shit.
My
but
grandparents lived like 2 houses down from a theater that showed old movies, like matinee style. When
Yeah.
I was a kid, they'd be like, "Here's $1, go watch some movies."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Okay."
Fanboys, if you haven't seen it,
It's a fun movie.
go watch it. Yeah, it's a fun.
And if you're a Star Wars nerd, you
Yeah.
have to see it, or Star Trek.
You
or any of
probably
the-
already seen it.
Yeah, you've
but-
probably.
Well, I think they had a beef with the Star Trek fan people in the movie.
Shatner
right?
was
Isn't that
in
the
the
whole
movie.
premise? Yeah.
But yeah,
He wanted it, right? Wasn't or
They're
they're getting it from him? I
yeah,
don't remember. It's been a while.
he was trying to help them.
Jackass the movie, the very first one,
The OG
versus Bad Boys the movie.
The
Not
very
the
first
very
one.
first one, because there was a Al Pacino, I think, Bad Boys. But this is the first of the Michael Bay
the Will
Bad
Smith,
Boys
Martin
franchise.
Lawrence
Yeah.
Bad Boys,
Exactly.
Jackass the movie.
I really like the first Bad Boys. It was probably like, I don't know, man. Because I really like Jackass. I mean, it was basically just
The
an
show,
extended,
but
just the show
better
with more.
production value on most of it.
Yeah, I mean, TV sucked back then, but that's the only. I don't know, man. Out of the Jackass franchise, I don't think the first one is the best.
Probably not.
But out of the Bad Boys franchise, I think the first one's my favorite. The second one's like gets way more Michael Bay'd. It's way more Michael Bay'd out. And they
hiding
made a
drugs
third one.
and dead bodies and shit.
Yeah.
Going to Cuba and blowing everything up.
Henry
blowing
Rollins
shit up.
was the lead of the DEA thing that
And the
was in
second
charge of the first
And
one.
the first one.
He may have been in the second one too. I don't remember. Yeah, I gotta go Bad Boys. Tay Leone, I had a crush on her back when she was popular for a minute. There's a scene, like old, like horny me as a teenager. There was a slow motion scene, very beginning of the movie. This chick with a dress on or just a tight short skirt. It's like from low on the street. It's like her stepping out of the car or into a car or something like that.
Michael Bay shoots some.
Yeah. It was great. I love that scene too. Definitely used that scene a lot. But yeah, Bad Boys. I go Bad Boys. I mean, it's like whatever, but
Yeah.
out of the two, one's a movie. The other's a series of clips of
The other's
basically
early
internet
YouTube.
clips. Yeah,
The other's early YouTube.
Yeah. fail clips.
Yeah,
Even though they're all
I'll go
doing
Bad
it.
Boys, even though it's not my fucking shtick.
Yeah. Hunchback of Notre Dame, however you want to pronounce it, you stuffy bitch, versus The Land Before Time.
So we're getting real animated.
I gotta go Land Before Time only because out of the two, I watched it more. Whether I had a VHS or just happened to be on places, I don't know. Land Before Time, I remember it a lot.
Fucking little.
Not all the sequels. Fuck all the sequels. I hate them.
Littlefoot was my dog.
Right? Yeah.
No,
I would
yeah,
imagine
Land Before
Hunchback
Time.
would hold up better just because it's Disney. Are these both Disney?
No, Land Before Time is not Disney
Something
at
else.
all. It's just something else. But
Yeah.
Hunchback is kind of. That's one I feel like.
I never really got into that.
No, I don't think anyone.
I didn't have it,
Some
but-
people did, but
Friends had it. Yeah, there was kids that had like they had parents that just bought every single Disney movie.
true.
And then you had a parent, or I had a parent, where it's like you get every few.
Yeah.
I got Aladdin, but then I didn't have like Little Mermaid. I don't think I had Beauty and the Beast. I can't remember the ones I had, but I know I had Aladdin. That was one of my jams. Oh, and Lion King for sure. Savannah. Where are we going?
Land Before Time.
All right.
Littlefoot. Petrie was the little one.
It's like very underwhelming matchup so far. Okay, well, the Family Guy special I have not seen.
I have.
The Incredibles versus
I can't say that I've seen it.
The World Is Not Even Enough for Keith to Remember.
I know that's Pierce Brosnan and James Bond.
Okay. Road Trip, the 2000 road comedy, teen road comedy with Tom Green. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Versus The Incredibles, the Pixar superhero movie. Basically,
I'm going to go The Incredibles. It's the best Fantastic Four movies that's ever been made.
it's very true. Road Trip
It's
is
a
hilarious.
It's a fucking fun movie.
I
but
still enjoy it, even though it's mostly just because I'm sure I saw it back then, and I just whatever excuses I have for watching, because I can't. I've tried to watch like newer teen,
it's
like
terrible.
whatevers,
Yeah.
and it's just, man. Yeah, I'm good with Incredibles.
Yeah, Incredibles was an incredible movie for
Yeah.
for that time.
Yeah,
and it was
for sure.
it was kind of like a little more serious, even though it was still kids.
I mean, it's Pixar. They always do that in their movies. Like,
Yeah.
you want to talk about serious, watch In and Out. That Pixar movie. That one's crazy good.
Inside Out,
Inside Out. What did I say?
In and Out.
In and Out.
That's-
Yeah,
I was
just
like-
thinking
I was like,
of fast
wow.
food.
I just thought Pixar was getting like fucking sexual and shit. They're like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
give them the old In and Out.
Totally. I don't know what is going on.
It's
in
super animated.
It's like to have this segment at
On-
the end
on
of
the-
our fight talk.
on
We're
the end
doing
of
a lot
Fight
of,
Talk. It's like we're talking Disney movies and Bambi versus the Ugly.
I can't say that I've seen the Ugly Duckling.
Neither
I'm
have
sure
I, but
have.
I guarantee I have. But it's
Yeah.
probably not even
this
a movie.
is so
It's-
ridiculous. Yeah, it's like a 15-minute animated clip.
yeah,
All right, Bambi, not the stripper, the animated movie.
early
Another Disney. At least we are getting new shit.
Oh.
It might
Oh.
just be changing poster.
Could be. Or maybe it's just fixing itself because it's like I was getting way too animated right there. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, stop talking shit about me. Although we do have a show to do website.
Yeah, come on, bro. Don't fucking harsh my buzz like that.
Okay, probably getting new movies here. Da, 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 da. So you can check our list out if you want over at flickchart.com/IDP. We've rated over 1,000 movies.
Yeah, well, I would
don't
say it's
even know
very
if-
testy.
It's not even... Okay, there we go. Oh, Bambi came back. Oh, nope. The website's still refreshing, though. Well, between these, I have a feeling something's about to change here.
But I would say Back to the Future too.
Yeah, here, I'll click Back to the Future 2, and maybe that got logged. Doesn't really matter. I'm sure Back to the Future 2 is doing all right. Bambi wasn't going to be the thing to shoot it up the charts.
Yeah, let's get...
Okay, I think we're in it now.
We're back.
Gremlins. Pretty cool
Phenomenal poster.
Yeah. I could see somebody getting that tattooed.
I could do without the
Huge.
backdrop.
Like, if you were to say, like, if somebody was a huge Gremlins fan,
Oh,
like,
I would get that.
think of it as a back piece, and then Gizmo is on one cheek, so it starts on one cheek, and then the whole back piece is that'd be ridiculous.
Just the ear wrap up over your...
Yeah, that top ear will wrap up over your shoulder a little bit, and it's just flames. That'd be sick. If you were that big of a Gremlins fan,
you would be the most hardcore Gremlins fan ever.
That would be a sick tattoo.
Versus the original Scary Movie.
I love the first Scary Movie.
It's fun.
It's because it was a while since. I mean, they had done like Not Another Teen movie, so there's some spoofs out there. But this one, because horror movies, like,
Let's not discount Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking.
yeah, but that was like this was 2000. That was like 90s.
It's like 98.
It was for sure earlier 90s.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it was still...
But yeah, there was still movies out there. I mean, there was even the Not Another Teen movie is way closer of a reference, I would think, to this. But either way, this was taking on all the fucking horror movies like that were popular, like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and all the fucking jump scare movies that were popular and trendy in the late 90s. Yeah.
But Gremlins all day.
But Gremlins, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Haven't seen
Interesting.
Trust.
I have not either.
I don't trust it.
The Princess Bride versus the animated 1960. Yeah. That just sounded weird.
Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah, the holiday classic.
Very
versus
classic.
the just classic. I'm going
Princess Bride. Yeah. While the Grinch is fun, it's another...
It's just a holiday movie.
It's like a half hour.
Yeah, it's...
The whole cartoon.
I don't know what they're doing here. They think we're children. It's like, they don't watch full, long movies. Speaking of the prequels, Star Wars Episode 1,
No.
The Phantom Menace
No.
versus School of Rock.
I hate School of Rock, and School
Really?
of Rock 100%.
I enjoy School of Rock. I felt it was like more for kids than for me, but
Yes.
I thought it was cool. Like, I felt I would have liked it if I was a kid watching it,
Probably would have also.
but I never felt that way with
I think I
Episode
was
1.
also on some serious Jack Black fatigue around that time,
right.
where I was just like, whatever.
Jaws versus the Grindhouse, both movies, I'm assuming, together. That specific cut would be my guess. Versus Jaws.
Jaws, 100%.
Man, if it's Grindhouse together,
Yeah,
you got
that's
the trailers
cool,
in the middle.
But neither of those movies are better than Jaws.
No, but that whole thing together,
Is not better than
as
Jaws.
a whole, with the fake trailers,
It's fun.
like better than Jaws.
But it's not better than Jaws.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the shark speech from fucking the captain is better than the Grindhouse put together.
Nah, just buckets of blood.
Black eyes.
Just buckets of blood.
Those eyes.
Yeah, I guess Jaws.
Never seen Husbands and Wives.
Me either. Constantine coming back.
And winning because it comes up against terrible things.
I gotta go Hunchback of Notre Dame
You
on
asshole.
this one because I just don't like. I don't care about Hunchback.
Hunch stacking.
It's like I'm
you been-
neutral on that shit, but Constantine, I dislike that movie.
I really like that movie. I'm going Constantine.
But I don't feel like looking it up, so I'll go Constantine. And I don't give a shit, like I said.
It's
about the
not.
other
They're
one.
not jumping to the top anyway.
No. I don't think I've seen that Nutty Professor all the way through.
It's
nutty. Like I said in a previous one, fuck all those movies where people are just wearing fat suits.
I haven't seen Tinker Tailor
I haven't either.
Soldier Spy.
Heard it slow, so I never jumped in. Ooh. Meet the Parents versus Sleepless in Seattle. Meet the Parents.
Yeah, like
I am not a divorcee from the 90s. That movie is not for me.
same
However,
with you. You've Got Mail. Nope.
Nope. Yeah,
I don't.
all those movies from then, those were like that's all the shit my mom would watch all the time. It's like, fuck. It's all the same shit.
Yeah,
all
it's
sappy.
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
It's all sappy bullshit. Yeah, but there was a ton of those movies that came out, or at least in my life, there was a ton of those movies coming through my household. But Meet the Parents, even though I'm not a big fan of Meet the Parents, the movie stresses me
What
out.
in the ever fucking
Well, this is interesting because for sure I'm going Hunchback of Notre Dame this time versus The Da Vinci Code.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, I guess.
Was a horrible movie. The first of the franchise.
Paul Brown or Dan Brown?
Dan Brown, I think.
Whatever. It's a bunch of shit.
Yeah. It's horrible. Robin Hood, the animated. What the heck is going on?
This is the most
Versus, I mean, it's an easy one. Versus Superman Returns.
the Brandon Routh.
The reboot between reboots before it got rebooted. Robin Hood, for
which
sure.
is one of my favorite early Disney.
Yeah, that is a classic.
That
I
and The Sword
agree.
and the Stone. I love those two.
The Robin Hood more than Sword of the Stone for me.
All right.
I don't
like them
think I had
both.
Sword of the Stone, but I
Yeah.
remember watching it a lot.
I can't say I've seen
I have not
Dreamgirls.
either. No, I can't say that I have any desire to watch Dreamgirls.
I've heard that there's good performances in it. I think Eddie
Yeah, it's fine.
Murphy was like up for awards.
I don't care. Dances with Wolves versus Bambi.
Dances with Wolves.
Yep. This is like we gotta end this at some point.
Let's do
more. Yeah, we'll do two
And
more. Dances with
wait,
Wolves.
what's over under?
Chumani Tatanka YPA.
We'll do two after this, but what's the over under on at least one of them being animated?
Cartoon. I mean, what's the over-under on both of them being animated? I think they might both be animated, especially this swing. It's going to bring us right back. I can't say that I've actually seen all of Patton.
I can't either. I've seen
definitely
clips. Seen the.
I know the iconic
speech.
Yeah. The Big Lebowski versus The Whole Nine Yards. Seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
fun.
It's probably the best thing Matthew Perry's done since Friends.
Yeah.
Maybe only. I don't really know his career.
They did a sequel to it.
Whole 10 Yards. First one is definitely slightly more funny.
I
Bruce
remember there
Willis.
was nudity in those movies.
Yeah, there's titties in it.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's internet, bro.
I'm not.
I
I
know.
understand the internet works.
And it's like-
I'm saying the me that saw that.
Yeah.
Made
there's
a
titties
mental
in it.
note.
There's titties in both of these movies.
Yes, but me, probably 18-year-old me, made a mental note that there was titties in this movie, and then it
Yeah.
comes up, and I'm like,
yeah.
"Are there titties in that movie?" But the Big Lebowski, by far.
Yeah. I mean, that would have helped.
So
Yeah.
this one, another one. Jumanji and Apollo 13 are kind of animated.
They're literally both live action.
But
so.
a good portion of them is
I
CG.
mean, some
it's
people-
animation.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, you're
I'm
stretching
really reaching
definitions
on
and-
that, but
sure,
still.
Eddie Bravo. It's all fake.
They were both made in the same year. What are the chances of that?
That is
the
crazy.
Moon? Do you think they went to the moon? You fucking dumb bastard. NASA lied.
I know.
6 times.
They always lie.
They're always
Everything
lying,
they say
everything.
is a lie.
Look,
Apollo 13 versus
That's
Jumanji.
just a
It's
fucking
just super
rendering.
easy. Yeah. It's digital. I mean, it's just he knows some words. Apollo 13 all day.
Yeah.
It's just a
Jumanji was fun.
Yeah.
Apollo 13 was really good.
All right. I guess this is the
Last one?
Yeah.
Animated?
Nope. More animated. Have you seen Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog? Technically a online show, not even a movie.
I actually had it on DVD at one point.
Did you?
So it does exist in that
Yeah,
medium.
it started as it was an online series.
But it's Neil Patrick Harris versus The Hangover. The
Hangover. The only good Hangover movie. Although I haven't seen the third one, but I will not. So that's it, people.
That was a weird.
It was a
Weird
weird
round.
One. It worked at least. At least the site worked for us, and things didn't break down. But you can go check her shit out. FlickChart.com/IDP. That's it. We are done. We will be back at a later time to make our picks for the upcoming UFC pay-per-view. Until then, we'll have some movie reviews, comic book reviews, and some other shit, I'm sure.
And I'll fucking
Coming up
set your
episodes.
parents' house on fire if you don't watch.
For sure. That's
Do
what
it.
Keith does.
Especially you, fucking Jeff.
Right on.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Follow Keith, the arsonist, on Keith Spurlock 1 on Twitter.
That's right.
I'm at Ray Taylor on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the show on Facebook and YouTube. And don't forget to go to inspireddisorder.com. There's links for everything, including links to buy my artwork and prints and all kinds of stuff. And don't forget to donate $1 a month over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
Remember, the only way to not die is to buy his shit.
That's right. Or donate $1. That's it, people. Save yourselves. Peace.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Inspired Disorder podcast. Embedded signals within this podcast have reprogrammed your natural thinking patterns. Side effects may include lack of inhibitions, erectile dysfunction, anal leakage, transcendental communication with beings from 4 of the 7 primary dimensions. In the event of a tear in space-time, please keep your hands down and feet together. Any loss of life or limbs due to interdimensional travel is not the responsibility of this podcast.